So can you tell me, how long have you been an urban explorer for, roughly?
Probably about 15 years. First came to the city about, gotta say, 20, 25 years ago. And a few years into it, I just fell in love with the Packard plant and all the old buildings that you could just roam through.
So you've seen a lot of change in the time that you've been here, the 25 years.
Yeah. Well, metal prices went through the roof, all over the world, really. So everybody started scrapping. You used to go into these old buildings, and there would be machinery, just really interesting things to photograph and just explore,
So you have a bit of a broad-based, say, skill base in terms of your love of these old Detroit abandoned plants. So your interest or involvement would have included not just exploring but also photography and some scrapping.
Yeah, I used to scrap metal back before the prices, got all jacked. And people would come out of their houses and thank me for hauling away this, pile of scrap steel in the yard next to them.
So and they didn't understand the value of what they were giving away?
Well, no, it wasn't worth much back then. But then the prices went through the roof, and I realized there's a lot of money in this, and there's a lot of old crap laying around. So I'd start scrapping, and I realized people really aren't into it. They think of scrappers as just somebody ripping off the siding of somebody's house, or something like ripping out copper pipes. So the term scrapper is it's not a nice term anymore. It's not what it used to be. It's considered a thief these days if you admit to being a scrapper. And I haven't done it in years, but I had a few accidents that told me to stop.
So can you tell us a little bit about those accidents, if you're comfortable speaking about them? I know they've been fairly serious accidents. How did they occur? What were the actual injuries, and how did they occur?
It's funny because they happened 3 years in a row, all on Thanksgiving weekend. Started about 9 years ago, and one was just a couple blocks from here, and it was an old grocery store. The roof was caving in. I went inside and was pulling out some wire, and didn't realize there was an alarm on the place. There was actually electricity in there, and I almost electrocuted myself with some 440 volt power box.
And I could imagine if something like that happened, you wouldn't exactly have a telephone handy for calling emergency services.
Not back then, no. I probably would have sat there for a while.
You were alone at the time, or with someone?
I was alone, yeah.
And what about the other accident? I believe you had an accident in the plant we are at now, which is the Grand Trunk building.
Yeah, this is the third accident, the last one. And I was opening up some old valves. This is used to be a refrigerated building, caught on fire years ago. It burned for about a week. The firemen couldn't put it out because of all the burning insulation. Anyway, the refrigeration units, I was taking some valves off. It blew up in my face with ammonia and knocked me on my ass and filled the room with ammonia. Luckily, I was close to the roof, so I was able to scramble up the stairs, but I lost this eye. Went blind. It's just, and this eye came back. I was blind for about a good 3 months.
For three months, you had no eyesight at all?
Well, it slowly came back, but it took a good year before it was, to the point it is now, and it's still not that great. But I get by.